Arsenal Football Club beat Atletico Bilbao 2-0 away from home in their first match of the UEFA Champions League. And I'm telling you when I say that this Arsenal defense is rock solid. This Arsenal defense is absolutely incredible. 1 goal conceded in 5 games. And that 1 goal conceded is not like they absolutely broke us apart to the center with some scintillating play. No, it was an absolutely exquisite free kick from Sober's-line. And that is the only goal that this Arsenal defense has conceded this season. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the match that Arsenal played in terms of their performance. I'm going to be talking about each and every single one of our players and how they played from back to forward. Firstly, the first player that I want to highlight this season in terms of having absolutely consistent performances, never puts a foot wrong, 8 out of 10 performances week in, week out, is Jurrien Timber. This man is absolutely incredible, guys. Timber has been sensational. Ben White, you're gonna have to worry about your position, bro. You're becoming a bench player now because this guy is going to put you on the bench unless something happens. He's been absolutely incredible. I'm telling you, this guy is top 3 right backs in the world. I can confidently say now that Timber is top 3 right backs in the world. The only winger that I've seen give this guy a problem was Kvaratskhelia. And it's not like it was an absolute cooking. No. It was not a cooking, that game in the Champions League. I saw that game. I'm telling you, there were moments that he actually battled with Kvaratskhelia. It was a close call. So Timber was absolutely magnificent in this game, as usual. And then the player that I also want to highlight, obviously, is David Raya. Of course, I feel like David Raya is really underrated in terms of what he does for our build-up. You know, people don't really acknowledge him because of, you know, coming in with that whole Ramsdale situation, so they don't really acknowledge him. I don't think there's a better goalkeeper than him after Alisson for Liverpool in the Premier League. I think that he's probably the second best goalkeeper in the Premier League, in my opinion. And he had a very good game. You know, obviously he had a couple of saves. I think he only had 2 saves in this match. You know, there's that close Benanga chance that Arsenal conceded. I think he saved it, but I also think it also skinned that post as well. So Raya also had a very, very good game, in my opinion. And we'll also be looking at the player ratings at the end of this video. So please watch till the end so we can see if we agree with the player ratings or not. Another player that I need to highlight in this match also is Mosquera. Guys, I'm telling you when I said that when Arsenal were busy buying players left, right and center for one of the best transfer windows that this club has ever had, when they announced Moreska, bro, I didn't even acknowledge him. I honestly didn't even acknowledge him. I had my favorites. Me, in my head, I was thinking, oh my God, where's my Rodrigo? Where's my Gyökeres? Where's my Eze? That's the only thing that I could think about. They bought Mosquera and I didn't even acknowledge him. You know, sometimes when they buy a player that you like, you are there on YouTube, you're holding your phone, you know, checking compilations, trying to see exactly how this player is going to improve your club. I did none of that for Mosquera. But ever since this guy has come in, he has not put a single foot wrong. He's been incredible. He's been absolutely incredible in terms of also his build-up play and his forward incisive passes, which I think he does more than Saliba, even though I have to be fair, Saliba has been trying to implement that in his game this season. But I'm telling you, we do not even look like we miss Saliba because of how incredible Mosquera has been. Although the only thing that I have to say about Mosquera is that they were actually targeting this man in terms of long balls to him, you know, in terms of goal kicks and long balls to him. I see that maybe they know that because they were playing against Valencia last season and they spotted that maybe he has that weakness in his game, so they were targeting him. I think maybe his heading ability can also improve because there were many plays in terms of this game where you could see that when he hits the ball, he would lose possession or not head the ball towards one of our players, and then Atletico will continue with their overall pressure in terms of their high press. So I think that's a part of his game that he can improve. Gabriel was absolutely solid as usual. Didn't put a foot wrong. Obviously, he was the experienced head at that back line, keeping it nice and solid. So I think he also had a very good game. Calafiori, you see, my guys, Calafiori this season has gone up a level. I think last season he was actually disturbed a lot by injuries. And guys, please also comment down below in terms of what you think about some of these takes that I have. What you think is very, very, very important to me. And I will answer every single comment that you guys put in the video. So Calafiori is absolutely essential to how we play. I feel like he plays the Zinchenko role. This guy is like a tall Zinchenko, because I'll be seeing this guy in midfield, trading passes with Zubamendi and, giving Arsenal an option in terms of build-up, because I don't know why Arteta does this, but we do like to actually build up from the back a lot. And I think that's why you also got David Raya. And why David Raya has also been very effective, especially in possession for us. But Calafiori has been absolutely sensational in terms of his positional freedom. I would love to see Eze being given that much positional freedom that Calafiori is afforded, because I feel like Calafiori actually thrives in terms of this, not just his defensive ability, one-to-one ability, but also his dribbling ability for a centre back is absolutely exquisite. I see this guy in the left half space and I'm like, what is this guy doing there? What if he loses possession? But this guy keeps the ball and he actually passes the ball inside to your Odegaards and your Zubamendis and your Maduekes, and I'm like, I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing from this guy. No wonder he's benching Skelly. My guy, you need to pull up your socks, because this guy is coming after your position. He's been absolutely cooking this season. Another player that we need to talk about, obviously, will be Merino. I feel like when it comes to Merino, I like him better when he's being used in the Rice role rather than being used in the Odegaard role, because I feel like in this game we actually missed a lot of control in terms of going forward, just because we didn't have that silky player in the likes of Odegaard. People like to clown Odegaard, saying that he did not play well last season. I don't think he was that bad, but I think we really do miss Odegaard in terms of that midfield control. I felt like in this game it was too loose, man. The possession was kind of sloppy. It didn't really impress me in terms of the way we actually went forward. But I feel like in this game, our defense is what really stood out for us, and to me in personal, because of how exactly we defend as a unit. People like to say Arsenal is boring to watch. These haters will always hate. They used to tell us, Arsenal is an easy team to play against. It's got a soft underbelly. Now we play, this conservative type football, and people are still clowning us, saying that we are boring to watch. They just love to hate us no matter what. There's a reason why we're defensively solid. We're not just defensively solid for no reason. We're defensively solid because we do not commit that many men forward, and also we defend as a unit. That's why we also struggle so much when it comes to counter-attacking football, because we do not leave a lot of men forward in order to be able to exploit the opposition when they leave spaces in behind, unless we have Martinelli, who runs in behind, which is a very effective game for him when the game is a bit loose and a bit transitional. So there's a reason why we are like the way we are, why we are so obsessed with control. It makes us very defensively solid in the sense that we do not concede a lot of chances to the opposition. Eze, man, you see, when it comes to Eze, I feel like Eze is a player who is very effective when it comes to us facing low blocks. When we face low blocks, I feel like Eze is absolutely exquisite. That's when you see Eze at his absolute best, because he gets to have many touches, even on the left-hand side. People will be saying, no, Eze should be playing more central. No, Eze needs to play against the team that's going to park the bus, where we know we'll have most of the ball. Unless you want to play him game that is transitional, it's fine, but you're going to have to play him in midfield where he gets a lot of touches. I feel like that's when he's at his absolute best. So Eze, he had a quite quiet game, because I think the game didn't quite suit him. And I like the fact that we have both Eze and Martinelli, because that way we can use Eze for the defensive low blocks that we face, and we can use Martinelli for when we try and counter attack. So I think that in this game in particular, Eze did create maybe a couple of chances, but I think that for Eze, in this game in particular, I think he could have done a lot better in terms of going forward. He did lose the ball a couple of times, but I think that after some time he will improve as well. He's also getting used to some of the players that he's playing against. Victor Gyökeres, you see, this guy had a couple of opportunities. This guy should have scored at least one goal. Bro, I was predicting this guy to score a hat-trick, because I'm thinking, oh my god, Atletico Bilbao is probably going to press us, and then we're going to have a couple of spaces in behind for us to be able to exploit. But this man had that opportunity when he was played ball over the top, and he I don't know, man, like I felt like he was not very decisive with his touches, because he actually pulled the ball away instead of coming inside and actually putting his body in between the defender and the ball, so that he can be able to go more inside it in order to have a better chance. But he went wide, and then the defender just pushed him wide further, allowing him to actually close the space and actually make it harder to be able to finish that opportunity. So I think that Gyökeres, actually, that chance he could have actually scored. He also had that chance from Rice as well, the header which he actually pulled across. I think he also could have done better there. If you're not going to put it into the back of the net, at least, pass it back to your teammates in order for them to actually finish. So there's also that opportunity that you also had when Madueke was actually played in, and then he tried to pull it back, but it was actually blocked by, I think, one of the defenders of Atletic Bilbao. So overall, I think he had a decent game. I think he could have done better. He should have at least had one goal. He should have at least had one goal. There's also that cross that came in from the incredible Timber. This guy can do it all, bro. He can do it all. From that incredible cross that he got from Timber, that headed goal. He loves these diving headers, bruh. He loves them. But that opportunity is also an opportunity that he could have scored as well. But yeah, he could have at least had one goal. But I feel like with Gyökeres, guys, this guy, if you feed him, he will score goals. Because before this match, I always felt like this guy has been scoring from low XG chances. Like, he's been getting, like, not that many chances, but he has a decent goal return, but he hasn't been fed. With strikers, even Haaland suffer from the same thing. People were clowning him, saying, oh, Haaland does not touch the ball many times. Haaland is absolutely, ineffective in this match. Only had a few touches. Even your Roy Keanes and your Canada's were busy clowning him on Sky Sports. Hey, those guys, sometimes they will frustrate you because their takes sometimes are so terrible. Strikers need to be fed in order for them to be effective. Unless they are those strikers who love to drop deep and actually collect the ball and play in those half spaces, those ones that bring in your wingers. Unless they are those types of strikers, they won't get many touches of the ball. Because their job is also to stretch the defense, to push the defense forward by being shoulder to shoulder with them in order for your maestros in midfield to actually operate. Unfortunately, in this game, we did not have Odegaard to be able to dictate in those deeper areas with Zubamendi. I felt like we lacked a lot of technicality, but overall we had a decent game in this match. And Madueke is also being effective, in times. I feel like his final ball could also need some improvement as well. So I think in general that this game was decent in terms of us. Defensively, we were very good. Midfield control, I don't think was there. We were very sloppy in midfield. Attacking wise, we could have done better. I feel like even though we had possession most of this match, I feel like we did nothing with that possession. But overall, away from home, if this was at home, I would have been upset in terms of how we played. But it was away from home, so I would like to give these players some credit for going there and actually stopping the momentum from the Atletico Bilbao side. They did pressure us a lot with the high press, so I think we did well in this match. So let's look at some of these player ratings. 8.0 rating for Raya, I think, is decent. I wouldn't say I disagree with it. I think it was absolutely okay. It says here that he had 2 saves. It's decent. I don't think he faced that many shots anyway. But I think when it comes to David Raya, he was okay. Timber, 7.8. I agree with that. I agree with the 7.8 rating for Timber. I think that in terms of going forward, he was solid in terms of his forward contributions. He actually supported Madueke quite well. Mosquera has been absolutely solid as well, 7.2 rating. I agree with that. As I said, the defense is what really carried us in this match. You have Gabriel, 7.6 rating, which I also agree with. There's no disputes against that. Calafiora, I would have given this guy, man, an 8 or an 8.2. I think he was at that level in this game. He was very good. Says here that this guy had the most tackles in this match. I'm not surprised because this guy is absolutely everywhere. Ricardo Calafiori won the most duels. Oh, it's duels, not tackles. 9 in the match. I absolutely believe that because I think Calafiori this season has been playing well. I just hope he stays out of injuries. This guy must just stay fit, bro. Guys, I'm impressed with how he actually managed this yellow card. I think that he could have actually gotten another yellow card, but he actually managed. Even the commentator was saying, Rice got to be careful here because he was kind of playing kind of risky in terms of off the ball tackles and all those things. Zubamendi, I think he could have done better. Says here 6.8. Oh, by the way, Rice's rating was 7.6. I would have given him a 7, bro. 7.6 I think is a bit generous. 6.8 for Zubamendi. Maybe 6.9 for me. 6.8 is okay. And then you have Mourinho, 6.8. I agree with that. I don't think it was that fantastic. Is it 7.4? I think that's quite generous. I would have given him a 6.9 or a 7. I don't think he was that effective in this game. Gyökeres, 7.2. Yeah, well, he did. I don't think his chances were high XG chances, he should bury them, but I'd give him a 7. 7.2 is a bit generous. Madueke 6.7 I think is quite harsh for Madueke. The main job of a winger is for you to take on your men and actually deliver good balls in. He didn't deliver that many good balls in, so yeah, I understand why they actually gave him a low rating, but I think they could have given him a higher rating in my opinion. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please comment about what you think about some of these takes that I have in this video. And if you like the content so far, also subscribe. There'll be much more content. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I will be producing a lot of Arsenal content every single week after they've played, as well as Barcelona content as well. So hopefully we'll be seeing a whole lot of me in terms of the content that I produce as well. So guys, if you enjoy, please like, subscribe to the video, and hopefully I will see you guys very soon. Cheers.